Hello my dear friends, Raisa here from the Nutrinut. Welcome to the channel. Here we're all about eating in a way that's not only nourishing for our bodies but also sustainable. For this video, we are back in the kitchen baking another deliciously easy recipe. And today's story begins with really ripe bananas. You know when you have an excessive amount of super duper ripe bananas at home? More than you know what to do with? Now I'm sure you've heard of a few different things that you can do to avoid tossing out ripe bananas. One of the main options includes freezing them, which you can later add into smoothies or even make ice cream. I find this to be pretty cool. Or you can just add it all into baked goods, like in a banana cake for example. But before getting to the recipe, this is why I am so passionate about fighting food waste. Did you know that a third of the food produced ends up in the trash? In fact, if food waste were a country, it would be the third largest greenhouse gas emitter after China and the US. Isn't that crazy? And home food waste plays a big role in all of it. In a way, this is somewhat encouraging news because it means that there's plenty that we can do about it. We have the power to change this story. Starting with buying what we need and making sure that we use everything that we buy. And what better way to avoid tossing out some overly ripe bananas than in the form of a yummy banana cake? This recipe is gluten-free and vegan-friendly, and it's also pretty easy to make. You won't even need a mixer. If you are into eating in a deliciously nourishing and sustainable way, make sure to subscribe to the Nutrinut to not miss a single video. And now to our banana cake recipe. This is what you'll need to make this cake. 3 bananas, 1 will be mixed in the cake and the other 2 you're going to slice and add in the middle. Half a cup of unsweetened applesauce, 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk, 1 tablespoon of oil, a 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 cup of fine cornmeal, and half a cup of gluten-free all-purpose flour plus 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Like always when talking about all things baking, make sure to preheat the oven before even mixing your ingredients. For this cake, the oven temperature will be of 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, add to a blender 1 banana. Like I mentioned, the other 2 will be added a little later, followed by the milk, applesauce, sugar, oil, and cinnamon. I also added about a teaspoon of vanilla extract, but this is optional. Now we're gonna give everything a blend. If you are in the mood to go minimalistic here, you can always just skip the blender and mix everything with a whisk. Just make sure to mash the banana with a fork before. To a medium bowl, transfer the banana mix and add your dry ingredients, which in this case we're talking about the cornmeal, the gluten-free flour, and the baking powder. Give everything a good mix using your whisk. When all the ingredients are evenly combined, transfer half of the batter into a baking pan. Next, add the 2 sliced bananas and top with a little extra cinnamon, if that is your thing of course, which you can see that it totally is mine. Top with the leftover dough and using the back of a spoon, even out the top. Now into the oven it goes for 30 minutes. You can definitely enjoy this recipe on its own. It goes pretty well with a nice cup of freshly made tea. But I just so happen to have some freshly made vegan dulce de leche, and I thought, why not? To make the dulce de leche, I used 1 cup of soaked cashews, blended with 1 cup of melted brown sugar that was mixed in with a half cup of water. I blended everything for about 2 to 3 minutes until it became this creamy amazingness. I've shared a video on the Nutrinut Instagram teaching you step by step how to make this dulce de leche, so make sure to check it out. And if you want to really show off your artistic side, you can decorate the cake with some unsweetened coconut shreds and a few banana slices. I find that is always such a lovely touch, and that it even adds a pop of color. Well, that just about wraps up our video today. Let me know if you tried this recipe. I'd love to hear from you. And lastly, if you enjoy this type of content, it would mean the world if you tap the little like button below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.